I'm Mike Sullivan, and today we'll show you how to hit your driver straighter and longer. I don't know that many people who don't want to hit their driver longer. And I know even less people who don't want to hit it straighter. So let's talk about some things you can do to help you hit the ball long and straight. And with the driver, it's the biggest challenge, but let's get into it, all right? Number one, people who are having trouble with their driver or in golf tend to have a grip. We're going to look at total tendencies. They tend to have a grip where when they set up to the ball, their top hand is in a weak position. So if you look at how my top hand is on the club, my left hand, I'm a right-handed golfer, see that thumb is straight down the shaft, and when I look down, I can't see really any of the knuckles over here on my left hand. We want to adjust that so that when we look down, we can see that this V between my thumb and my forefinger is pointing back here towards my back shoulder. I can also look down and I can see 1, 2, 3 visible knuckles on that hand. We really want to have this hand rotated a little bit on top of the club. Just like when you stand naturally, your palms point a little bit in towards your body. That's how we want to be when we grip the club with both of our hands, actually, okay? So we're gonna have the palms rotated slightly in towards our body, and people really get in trouble when they start off just intuitively putting that grip on top. This is going to create a slicer and a scooper. We don't want that. Let's get that hand on top. It's gonna help us hit more draws and less slices, okay? The next big thing that we see in people in their golf swing, when they get started swinging, their hands move first, and then their shoulders move. And then they pick up their arms here, and you can see, people always talk about like, oh, we don't want a bent left arm or lead arm, but you know, for a right-handed golfer, left arm, we don't want that. I wouldn't think about that as a concern as much as I would like to have you feel like, and not feel like, do this. As you set up, you're going to tilt your back shoulder. My right shoulder is lower than my left, and I'm going to turn my shoulders. So I'm able to face back behind me without really turning my head. You can just practice that. Just stand up right now, get away from wherever you're watching this, and see if you can turn your shoulders and look back behind you without turning your neck or tilting this way. Just try that. That's a turn. That's not that tough, is it? It's tougher when we're bending from the hips. And this is why, by the way, we need good posture. If you've got bad posture, and I'll attach a little video in the description how to get good posture. If you've got bad posture, you're not going to be able to turn your shoulders very much. So it's amazing, like just getting started right helps a ton, okay? So we've got a nice strong grip, good posture, and I want to make sure I turn back, turn through, okay? This is something that's a lot easier to learn at home, away from hitting balls, actually. You can just sit around your house or stand around your house, put your hands up on top of your shoulders like this, and practice turning back and turning through. I've got actually a monitor right here in front of me, so I can look at myself in the monitor and see I've got this nice tilt on my spine. I'm a right-handed golfer, so my right shoulder is lower than my left. I'm going to turn back, turn through. And at the end of my swing, you can see my hips are right on top of my feet. My shoulders are right on top of my hips. All right? We want to be able to finish that way. And you can learn it a lot faster, actually, if you practice this at home away from the range. All right? Now, something that involves the golf club. If we get started with our backswing with our hands first, the club gets way back behind me, and as I turn, the club gets, this is a little bit of an exaggeration, but I have seen this. You can see the butt end of the club points way outside of where my ball would be, and the club head is really back behind my forearm. When we make contact, our hands are in front of our chest, and the shaft is in between my forearms. At setup, my hands are in front of the chest, my shaft is in between my forearms. Throughout our golf swing, we want to have our hands in front of our chest and the shaft between our forearms. Not this, this. And again, I'm looking at myself on the monitor saying, oh, that's flat. That's where I want to be. You may have to feel like you're right here. So I'm basing these things that we're talking about on things that I see from people that are struggling, people that are hitting short drives, and they're usually slice hopping, all right? So back again to where we started. Nice strong grip, okay? Turning hips and shoulders, not sliding and lifting, right? Turning hips and shoulders, and then in our backswing, we love to be able to make sure, I would recommend try to feel like your shaft is straight up and down here. We want that shaft in between our forearms because then we're going to have to do less catch-up during our swing. If we end up in a situation where that shaft gets flat, we see this all the time. Player starts their downswing, well, they're not matching up having their hands in front of their body. See, my hands are way back here. They slow down their shoulders, hands come through, and we get this scoopy sort of a position at impact, okay? So don't forget your alignment. Don't forget your posture. I'm going to attach a couple little links in the description to help you find videos on those. But for today, we're talking about nice strong grip, turning the shoulders, and keeping that shaft a little more upright in between our forearms. Hey, one more thing I want to add. When you're practicing, and this is for reality, hit balls, hold your finish. If you can't hold a really good balanced finish, then you're missing out a little bit. So when you're hitting your shots, especially driver, hold your finish and see how balanced you feel. If you can swing and stay in balance, you'll probably hit some pretty good drives. That was a really good one. And you can see as I'm done here, hips are right on top of my feet, shoulders on top of my hips. Maintain that balance. In addition to the things we're talking about, you will hit it straighter and you'll hit it longer.